What is up, budget billers? My name is Trail, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your fourth stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Monday, April the 26th. Good morning, everyone, and I hope all of you have an amazing week. We finally have some new information regarding the $200 monthly raise for SSI, and I want to share those details with you today. Also, could the unemployment benefits be extended even longer? Well, lawmakers are calling for permanent unemployment benefits to be included in the next stimulus bill. Now, even though it appears that the virus cases in the United States are actually improving, the pandemic is still far from over, and the shortage of jobs continues to be an issue for the ones who actually want to go back to work. But the virus still remains here, and frankly, people are just afraid to return back to work. Even though they have been vaccinated, they're still afraid, especially those who have underlying conditions that may be still at a higher risk of being infected. People just don't want to take that chance of returning back to work just yet. But now that President Biden has met his goal of 200 million people vaccinated in his first 100 days, which we now have over 228 million people, we are still far from being at the end of the tunnel. These millions of Americans have taken the vaccine shot, and now we are told that we may have to have an additional vaccine booster shot later this year. Now, most of us were hoping that the booster shot wasn't going to be needed, but we did receive heads up that that might be the actual case. So, Moderna is currently working on their booster shot that they should be ready later this year, as well as both Pfizer and Moderna are currently testing the vaccine on children under the age of 16 years old. And while the virus cases in the United States have been declining every day, India is dealing with an unusual surge in cases. The United States is here to save the day. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. But before we get started, hey, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. On this channel, we talk about finance, real estate, credit cards, and stimulus update news. So if any of that interests you today, be sure to hit the subscribe button for me. That way you can join our community. And if you end up liking the content in this video or even laughing at one of my jokes, then go ahead and hit the like button for me. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, so I recently found an article that mentioned a special letter that was sent to President Biden and VP Kamala Harris regarding the extension or the increasing Supplemental Security Income Benefits, or SSI. Federal lawmakers are calling on Biden administration to support the increase of SSI benefits as well as some other changes to the program. This letter was sent on April the 16th as members of Congress believe that these necessary changes needs to be included in the American Families Plan, which is expected to be released later this week. About 51 lawmakers participated in this letter that was sent out. Some of the well-known names like U.S. Representative Jamal Bowman, Senator Sherrod Brown, Bernie Sanders, as well as Elizabeth Warren and other members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, they all said this.
People with disabilities and older adults receiving SSI represent some of the most marginalized members of our society. History will not forgive us if we fail to address their needs in the recovery effort.
So right now, SSI benefits are being sent to 8 million Americans, in which many of them have disabilities. Individuals receive a maximum federal payment of $794 per month from the program, while some couples can see up to $1,191 per month. And then, depending on what state you live in, that state may offer additional benefits on top of those federal benefits. So, the lawmakers want to see SSI benefits to rise to at least 100% of the federal poverty line. And for those that are not familiar with the poverty line in the United States, because I didn't know myself, here are the current numbers or the guidelines used to determine if you are below the poverty line. And as we can see right here, a household with 4 people living there and making less than $26,500 for the total household is considered below the poverty line. I didn't even know that these income limits was this low. I figured they were much higher than this, but I was just completely wrong. So, for any of you out there that fall within these income thresholds, there are other programs out there that could provide additional assistance as needed. But Let's go back to the letter. The letter also says that the SSI should increase the amount of money that beneficiaries can earn before their benefits are reduced. They also want the rules around accepting food or shelter from friends and family members to be removed from the program. Apparently that if you stay with your friend or a family member, the Social Security Administration can lower your benefits, which totally sucks because you already don't receive enough as it is. So you think that you can just go over and stay with your family member or your friend to save up a few dollars, save up some money before you move back on your own. But the SSA will reduce the amount of money you receive in return. So yes, these types of rules should be removed from the program, which is why it's so important that the Biden administration listen to this letter and act quickly with the reform of the Social Security benefits, and particularly the SSI benefits. Now, Biden already talked about most of these things on the campaign trail, and now Americans are just waiting for President Biden to hold up to the promise that he made. The Americans Families Plan that he will introduce sometime this week should address these changes for the SSI, as it will also address other things like paid family leave, child care, as well as domestic issues. But not only President Biden being pressured to reform the Social Security benefits to be more inclusive and to increase the monthly benefits by $200, he is also getting pressure from lawmakers to offer a fourth stimulus check and even recurring stimulus payments as well. Now, there are other advocacy groups stepping up and putting the pressure on President Biden to support regular cash payments until the pandemic is over. In a new report, one group calls stimulus checks critical relief that must continue. Biden is being urged to include more direct aid in the $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan, but obviously he has a few hurdles to cross in the meantime. But of course, that's not the only thing that he is dealing with right now. Democrats are also pushing him to propose a permanent extension of unemployment benefits. Democrats are hoping that Part 2 of the infrastructure bill that should be introduced later this week will have provisions in place to automatically extend the unemployment benefits until the pandemic is over. More than 40 House Democrats propose increasing jobless benefits, extending the duration of the weekly benefits, expanding the pool of eligibility, and creating a system that would tie payments to changing economic conditions. We know that jobless payments have been extended multiple times in the past, from the beginning of the CARES Act until this past December on the second stimulus package bill. The White House has been studying the unemployment changes, but it is unclear whether they will address the changes in the next stimulus package bill. So we have the first part of the infrastructure bill, which is called the American Jobs Plan. Then the second part of this bill that should be unveiled sometime this week will be called the American Families Plan, or it might be referred to the Anti-Poverty Plan, or this could be a separate plan altogether. Either way it goes, the Biden administration definitely has a lot of bread in the oven right now. So no shortness of that, but the Democrats could pass the first part of the infrastructure bill without using the budget reconciliation process. All they need is about 10 Republicans to vote on that portion of the bill in order for it to pass, which they may be able to compromise their differences to get this thing passed. But as the way it currently stands, the Republicans are needing to compromise on several provisions within that bill. So we will just have to see on what transpires over the next couple of weeks to see what actually changes in the infrastructure bill and what Republicans can get their hands on in order to get a more bipartisan for this particular bill. Now, moving on, last but not least, I have an update on the vaccine or the vaccinations in the United States. Just this weekend, the U.S. fell short of having 3 million vaccinations performed each day. But even a little lower than 3 million is still a large number of vaccinations. Right now, we have 228 million people that have been vaccinated in the United States, which is about 28.5% of the population. And that shows that we still have a long way to go. It's been said that in the past that in order to get rid of this virus completely, we need somewhere around 75 to 80% of Americans to be vaccinated. But even before that number, the more people get vaccinated, the better off the world will be. And while we are doing much better today, those in India are experiencing the opposite. India is having an unusual surge in virus cases right now, and scientists are puzzled by the news. They are saying that the surge is the most furious that they have ever seen and compared it to spreading like wildfire. But nevertheless, the United States is here to rescue the day. The U.S. will be sending over raw materials to make the vaccines in order to provide additional resources to the country. But the U.S. is not the only country helping out. Britain, France, as well as Germany have all pledged support for aid to India over the weekend. Now, regarding the vaccine, Moderna came out on Sunday and said that they are working on their booster shot to go along with the original vaccine. This will allow more protection as time goes on. It's not known whether everyone will have to have these booster shots every year or how long it will take. But for right now, Pfizer as well as Moderna said that one more booster shot may be needed. Moderna said that their booster shot should be ready by late summer or early fall. Now, this is the point where I would ask you guys whether you have changed your mind about getting the vaccine shot. But the last 3 times that I have asked you, your answer was still no. So I won't waste my time in asking that again. But so far, myself, I am still doing just fine. I got my second vaccine shot about 2 weeks ago. I still have my legs, I still have my upbeat spirits, and some of you watching that still think that I sound annoying because of the way I talk. It just beats me, guys. Anyway, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. This has been your 3rd and your 4th stimulus check update for today. Now, if you enjoyed any of this information or found it to be useful, be sure to hit the like button for me. It definitely helps out a lot, and it also tells YouTube to share this video with others. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me so that you can be a part of this community. And hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Again, as always, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.